Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk About Things. Today we're going to be talking about my top 10 Echo Fighters that probably won't be making it into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So first off, we have Funky Kong and or Chunky Kong for Donkey Kong. Now, Chunky Kong probably won't make it in because when was the last time we got any representation of anything from Donkey Kong 64? Technically K. Rool and Smash Brothers, but I don't think Chunky, Lanky, or Tiny Kong are going to be making any big appearances anytime soon, unless they somehow manage to work their way back into the Donkey Kong Country series. Funky Kong, on the other hand, makes a lot of sense when you think about it. It's a great character, it would work really well like Donkey Kong, there's enough there to make him an original character, original Echo Fighter, I should say. They have different property changes and whatnot. However, thing that I think is holding Funky Kong back is that his playable appearance in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was an exclusive thing for the Switch version that wasn't included in the original Wii U version, and seeing as the Switch version is brand new, I don't think there was enough time to implement Funky Kong into the base roster. Now, it's still entirely possible he'll be included as DLC, but I do not see him getting into the base roster in any way because of this later inclusion. I mean, I guess it's not entirely impossible that he may be a late in the game addition, but it probably won't be happening for this reason. Then we have Tetra as an Echo of Toon Link. Now, this is something that I'm not going to say I came up with it, but I thought of the idea without seeing anybody else doing it. I'm sure there are other people who had the same idea, and I thought that Tetra would work really, really well as an Echo of Toon Link. You would only really have to change a couple things, but I just don't see it happening. I think if we're gonna get a Zelda Echo, it'll probably be Impa, and the fact that we'll be getting a brand new character in Skull Kid, potentially, not confirmed, but we'll see what happens there, makes it even less likely that we'll get two Echoes. Plus, Tetra just kind of is a weird one to think about, because even in my previous Echo Fighter video, I kind of had issues fitting Tetra into Toon Link's mold. Yes, you could do it, but it's a little forced, and she might work better as her own separate character. But I think it would be something cool to happen, but I just don't see it happening for this one. Then we have Slippy and Peppy as echoes of either Fox or Falco. This would be a great way to incorporate all four members of Team Star Fox, aside from Crystal. But I don't think Peppy or Slippy would be playable in Super Smash Bros., if I'm going to be honest with you. I could see Peppy being a slower version of, like, Fox, but I don't think Peppy's the kind of character who wants to be fighting in Smash Brothers. You know, he's old, he's trying to get out of this whole thing, maybe retire and do that thing. I think being a fighter pilot is enough for him. And then Slippy is just too clumsy, right? I mean, it'd be funny to see basically Brawl's tripping mechanic be turned into a character, but I just don't see Peppy or Slippy making the cut. In the same vein, I also don't think that any of the members of Team Starwolf, you know, Panther, Sheldon, the Gecko, I don't know, Pigma Dengar would be such a good Echo Fighter, but that's not gonna happen, is it? But could you imagine Pigma Dengar in Super Smash Brothers as like an Echo of Wolf? I'd love that. But those probably won't be happening either. That's all one slot. That's number 2. I don't think any Star Fox characters are going to become Echoes, unfortunately, because it'd be a cool way to fill in the roster. Then we have Plusle and Minun as echoes of Pikachu, or I guess Pichu as well. And I brought this up in my Pokemon Fighters video, link in the description. And I love this idea of having Plusle and Minun playable. It'd be even cooler if they somehow made them able to be echoes of Ice Climbers, where you could fight as both of them at the same time. But I don't think it's going to be happening. It seems a little far-fetched. Pun intended. I don't know. I love the idea of incorporating the Forbidden 7 into this new Smash Brothers game, but I just don't have any hope in seeing that. Raichu also could fit for this because I know some people want the original Kantoan Raichu because we do have the Alolan Raichu as Pokemon, but the Kantoan Raichu could be a slower, harder hitting version of Pikachu, and it would be kind of cool to have Raichu, Pikachu, and Pichu playable. But the fact that Raichu really never gets any love ever until its Alolan variant got around, I don't think it'll be included. Plus, it would be a little bit annoying, I guess, to have 3 Pikachus. Not in the sense of, like, clones, but in, like, there's 3 of the evolution line. As cool as it would be, it'd probably be very aggravating for people who don't like Pokemon. So I don't think Raichu's going to make the cut, unfortunately. Then we have Tails as an Echo Fighter of Sonic. Now, Tails, I don't think will happen because I think Shadow is going to happen, but I also don't think Tails will happen because I think Tails would probably be better as an original fighter or like a semi-clone, because the moving upwards, I mean, I guess they could just change the jump thing to his Tails, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I would love to see Tails in Super Smash Bros., but I really do think if we're going to get a second Sonic representation right now, it'll probably either be Shadow, or if it's an original fighter, maybe Dr. Eggman. Then we have the Octolings as echoes of the Inklings. Now, again, this is a character that a lot of people think will be in the game, but I'm really going to say that they're not going to be in this one. Mainly because, yes, the Splatoon 1 Octolings would be able to get into the game no problem, but why would they push that right now? I think it would make a lot more sense to just hold off on the Octolings and release them as DLC characters later on as DLC Echo Fighters of the Inklings. People want the Octolings from Splatoon 2 playable, but I don't think it'll happen because that game just is too new. It was announced around the same time that Smash Bros. Was announced, or at least we saw footage of it at that E3 along with Smash Bros., so I don't think playable Octolings will happen in the base game, but probably be coming around during DLC. Then have Galactonite as an echo of Meta Knight. You could also include Dark Meta Knight or Morpho Knight, which if I had to choose one, Morpho Knight would definitely be the one because I love that concept art Meta Knight design. But I don't think Galactonite will be the new Echo here. I don't think he's going to be in here. I don't think it's going to work. I mean, I would love to see it. It'd be a good representation of that character, or Morpho Knight, or whatever you want to pick, whichever one you want to pick. But I just don't think Galactonite's going to be happening, as cool as it would be. Then we have Louie as an echo of Captain Olimar, and the reason I'm putting Louie in here as well is because I don't think Louie has enough to be an echo, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, we have Alf, and Alf isn't an echo because there's not enough to make Alf an echo, so he's a costume. And realistically, it would be cool to get Charlie, Brittany, and Louie in there as well, but I don't think that any of them will be echoes because, like I said, there's just not enough there to make them wholly original and different enough from Olimar. Then this one really, I wish, like, well, probably number 1 or number 2 out of the characters I wish would actually be able to get into the base game, and that is Prince Fluff from Kirby's Epic Yarn as an Echo Fighter of Kirby. Now, originally, you might be thinking, well, this wouldn't work at all. The whole point of Kirby is that he has the copy ability and blah, blah, blah. But actually, if you just remove the copy ability and gave Prince Fluff his little whip thing instead, it would work completely fine. It would remove the whole copy ability thing because Prince Fluff doesn't have that ability. We could still have him be Yarn in 2D. It could be really fun. It'd be a great inclusion. I think Prince Fluff would just be a great Kirby character in general. Aside from Bandana Waddle Dee, I would like him more than any other Kirby character. But I don't think it's going to happen. Even with Kirby's Epic Yarn getting a re-release on 3DS, I feel like this character's kind of been forgotten about. Maybe not entirely, but I can't see it happening. Although, I really do hope I'm wrong on that one. Then before we get to my final character, I'd like to put up some honorable mentions. Gygus from the Mother series as an echo of Mewtwo, Blaziken as an echo of Captain Falcon, Proto Man as an echo of Mega Man, Miss Pac-Man as an echo of Pac-Man, Paper Mario as an echo of Mario, and Dr. Luigi as an echo of either Dr. Mario or Luigi. I don't think any of those will happen, but I thought they would all be cool echoes, so I added him in here in this little honorable mention segment. And lastly, we have Hector from Fire Emblem as an echo of Ike. This is another idea that I really love. Now, the reason I don't think Hector will be included is, one, that we already have a lot of Fire Emblem representation, right? And I think Chrom is enough. I don't think we need another one. Maybe we'll get Celica or something as an echo of Robin, but if they're going to drop someone, I don't think Hector would be it. There's also the chance that Black Knight will be an echo, so I would prefer Hector over Black Knight personally, but I don't know, I don't think it will happen. It'd be cool, it'd get an axe user, even though he played just like Ike. I think it could still work. But there's another reason I don't think Hector will be an Echo Fighter of Ike, and that's because Smash Brothers is going to get DLC, right? Let's not play ourselves here. It's going to happen. So, this character here, which I believe her name is Edelgard from Fire Emblem Three Houses, is an axe user. Hector is an axe user. It would be perfect to make Hector an echo of her and add her in here and add him in here along with her as a DLC fighter. Also, I feel so bad for Lyn fans if Hector gets in, because wow, that's just a stab in the back to everybody who likes Lyn, huh? Everybody gets an Echo, but Lyn still not around. Also, like I said in the podcast this week, or the last week, or whenever the heck it happened, I don't know. Here's the episode of the podcast, link in the description. I said that it'd be really funny to see every Fire Emblem character get an Echo. Of course, the only one that wouldn't be able to get one right now is Corrin, because there's really no one who plays like Corrin. But yeah, I'd love Hector, love to see it happen, but I don't think it will. Alright guys, let me know that in the comments. Who do you want to see as Echo Fighters? Whether you think they'll happen or not. I love the idea of Echo Fighters, which is very strange because I was very against Dark Pit's inclusion. Although, that's a whole different thing. I don't want to get into that right now. But I love the idea, I love the ability to include all these different characters in this game. And it's fun, it's great, I want a ton of them. I'm probably going to be disappointed at the actual number of Echo Fighters in the game because I have way too high expectations for characters and whatnot at this point. But we'll see what happens. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.